YouTube, check it out, man. We back. Um, ain't finna hold y'all up. Hope y'all having a blessed day. If not, hopefully this video get y'all going through y'all day. If not, tomorrow will be better. Like I said, not holding y'all up. He shot the judge in court. Crazy world we live in.
March 11, 2005. The Fulton County Courthouse in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, we in the A.
A lone defendant, Brian Nichols, overpowered a deputy, stole her gun, and killed.
Got the Wendy's strawberry lemonade.
3 people in minutes. For 26 hours, Brian Nichols held an entire city hostage. SWAT teams, FBI agents, and helicopters scoured the streets, but Nichols stayed one step ahead. Brian Gene Nichols was born on December 10, 1971, in Baltimore, Maryland. Raised in a middle-class household. He played football all the way to university level at Kutztown in Pennsylvania. By outward appearance, he was an average guy, but those who knew him said he had a troubled streak. Nichols dropped out of college and moved to Atlanta, Georgia in 1995, securing jobs at Hewlett-Packard and UPS. Years later, his ex-girlfriend, who had been with him for 8 years, described him as controlling and jealous. When she ended their relationship in 2004 and began dating their church minister, Nichols snapped. On August 19, 2004, Nichols allegedly broke into her home.
Bro, don't tell me this man about to go to. I'm not gonna say. Let's just continue watching.
Tied her up with duct tape. Held a gun.
What did he say?
Nichols allegedly broke into her home, tied her up with duct tape, held a gun to her head, and repeatedly assaulted her and beat her over the course of 3 days. He accused her of cheating, demanded that she obey him, and refused to let her go. When she finally escaped and reported him, Nichols was arrested on charges of rape, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and burglary.
What the?
Nichols' first trial began in early 2005, but it ended in a mistrial. Determined to jail him, prosecutors immediately prepared to retry him. Facing decades in prison, Nichols became desperate. During his time in jail, he exhibited manipulative behavior, convincing a female corrections officer to smuggle him food and contraband.
Not wrong with the food,
He also crafted shanks and attempted to sneak them into the courthouse. Officials feared that Nichols was planning something, but no one knew how far he was willing to go. On March 11, 2005, Nichols was scheduled for a new court date. This time, he had no intention of going back to his cell. The morning started like any other in the Fulton County Courthouse. Guards led inmates to and from courtrooms. Attorneys prepared their arguments, and judges presided over cases. Sheriff's Deputy Cynthia Hall prepared to escort Nichols from the holding cell to a private changing area, where he changed into civilian clothes for his trial. The moment Hall removed one of Nichols' handcuffs so he could change into his trial clothes, Nichols pounced. He beat her into a coma. Nichols then grabbed her Glock 40 service pistol, a radio, and her court access card. Then he stripped off his orange jumpsuit and put on civilian clothes meant for his trial. He was no longer an inmate. He looked just like another man walking the halls of justice. He calmly stepped out of the holding area and walked straight to the judge's chambers. On his way, he bumped into case manager Susan Christie and Gina Clark Thomas, along with attorney David Allman. Pointing the gun at them, he forced them to lead him to Judge Roland Barnes' office. At that moment, Sergeant Grantley White saw something off. He tried to stop Nichols, but shoved the gun in White's face and forced him to handcuff the others. He then used the deputy's stolen radio to give a false all clear. To security, it looked like a routine prison transfer. The system logged no alarms and no red flags. Nichols had bought himself time hiding in plain sight. Then he stormed into the courtroom, where Judge Roland Barnes was presiding over another case. Without a word, Nichols shot Judge Barnes dead at point-blank range. The courtroom was full of screams. People scrambled for cover.
But he was ruthless. He did not care.
Court reporter Julianne Brando, who had worked with Judge Barnes for years, didn't even have time to react before Nichols turned the gun on her and fired. She died instantly.
3 bodies he done
Nichols made for the exit. And that's when Sergeant Hoyt Teasley, a 43-year-old veteran, rushed in to stop him. Teasley chased Nichols down the courtroom steps shouting for backup. Nichols turned and aimed and fired. A single round struck Sergeant Teasley in the abdomen. He collapsed and died right there on the courthouse steps. In a matter of minutes, Nichols had killed three people and left another in a coma. Now he vanished into the streets of Atlanta, armed, dangerous, and ready to kill again. The streets of downtown Atlanta were packed with people heading to work, unaware that a killer was on the loose. Brian Nichols had just walked out of a high-security courthouse undetected, armed with a stolen Glock.
How the heck he get undetected? There are gunshots going off in the courtroom.
The police had no idea where he was. Within minutes of Nichols escaping the courthouse, law enforcement scrambled to contain the chaos. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office locked down all government buildings. The FBI was called in, and SWAT teams were deployed. Helicopters hovered the city as officers set up roadblocks and searched every car leaving downtown. But Nichols had planned his getaway. Nichols knew he needed to get out fast. He hijacked a green Honda Accord, shoving the driver out into the street before speeding away. Witnesses immediately reported the carjacking, giving police a crucial lead, but Nichols was already thinking 2 steps ahead. He dumped the car just miles away, switching to a different stolen vehicle. Then,
3 bodies, 2
just as
stolen
authorities
vehicles.
thought they might have him cornered, Nichols vanished. The news exploded nationwide. His face was plastered on TV screens from Atlanta to Los Angeles. America's Most Wanted broadcast his mugshot. A $65,000 reward was placed on his head. Every cop in the county was looking for him. Nichols had been on the run for hours. He needed a new escape plan. He spotted a young woman walking home from the gym.
Bro, leave the lady alone.
Nichols grabbed her, dragging her toward his stolen car. She screamed. Her boyfriend, just feet away, heard her and ran to her defense. The 2 men fought in the street. For the first time that night, Nichols lost control. The woman escaped and her boyfriend called 911.
Straight whooped on Nichols.
Nichols ran. Despite everything he had done, he hadn't pulled the trigger this time. Did he hesitate? Was he shaking? Or was he saving his bullets for his next victim?
Could be saving
Nichols
his bullets.
was growing desperate.
Oh, he shot
He needed
3
a
people.
safe place to regroup. So he made his next move, hunting down a cop. Special Agent David G. Willem, a nice officer who had just finished a long day of work. Nichols tracked Willem to his home, just outside Atlanta. As Willem entered his garage,
this man,
Nichols ambushed and killed him. Nichols stole Willem's badge, gun.
Bro, this man Nichols was literally playing GTA in real life, Hitman, what's some other games. This dude literally had a vengeance out for everyone over his girl not wanting him. Cause you a hothead. Like, bro, move on with your life, bro.
In silver Chevy truck. In plain clothes but armed with the badge, he could bluff his way through a checkpoint, just long enough to vanish into the chaos. It wasn't a flawless disguise, but it was enough to make people hesitate. He had everything he needed to disappear, but instead, he took a detour. March 12, 2005, 2:30 a.m. In the middle of the night, Ashley Smith was home alone in her Duluth, Georgia apartment. A 27-year-old single mother, Ashley had been through her own battles. Her husband had been murdered. She had struggled with a meth addiction.
Come on,
and
Nichols.
was fighting to turn her life around. Then came a knock at the door.
I know you don't know this information
Before
about
she
her,
could
but
react,
come on.
Brian Nichols forced his way inside, gun in hand, eyes full of rage. The most wanted man in America was in her living room. Nichols grabbed her, tied her up, and held her at gunpoint.
Come on, man.
Ashley knew what had happened in Atlanta. She knew who he was. She had a choice to fight, scream, or try to survive. She chose to talk. Ashley stayed calm the entire time. She told Nichols about her life, her husband's murder, her struggles with drugs, and how she was trying to do better for her daughter.
But she know that we don't know.
At some point, she reached for a book on her table, a devotional called The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. She read to him. She told him that he was here for a reason, that God had a plan, that it wasn't too late to stop the violence. Nichols sat silently. He didn't say a word, but something changed. As the night dragged on, Ashley did something no one expected. She made him pancakes.
Pancakes.
And as crazy as it sounds, it worked.
It worked.
Nichols, who had spent the last 24 hours running, hijacking, and killing, sat down and ate. And when Ashley asked if she could leave to see her daughter, Nichols just let her go. The moment she stepped outside, she grabbed her phone. Within minutes, SWAT teams surrounded the apartment. Nichols peeked through the blinds. He saw the flashing red and blue lights. He knew this was it. He surrendered without a fight. The 26-hour manhunt was over.
Oh.
But why did he give up? Was it Ashley's words, the book, the pancakes, or did Nichols already know he had no way out? The evidence was overwhelming. When police searched Nichols' stolen truck, they found the gun used in the courthouse massacre, Special Agent Williams' stolen badge and gun, a stash of extra ammunition, bloodstains linking him to the murders. Even before his trial, Nichols confessed on camera, admitting he had planned the courthouse attack. Nichols' case became one of the most expensive trials in Georgia history, costing taxpayers over $3 million.
Damn!
He faced 54 charges. His defense attorney tried to claim he was insane, but prosecutors destroyed that argument. They played security footage showing Nichols methodically executing his victims. Witnesses testified that Nichols had no history of mental illness. He was fully aware of his actions. His biggest lie? Claiming he killed Special Agent Willem in self-defense. But forensic evidence proved Willem had been kneeling when Nichols shot him execution style. After just 2 days of deliberation, Nichols was found guilty on all 54 counts.
54?
He was sentenced to multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole. The only reason he wasn't executed, one juror refused to vote for the death penalty. The judge made it clear that if the law allowed a harsher sentence, I would have given it. Nichols was locked away forever. The families of Nichols' victims sued Fulton County, arguing negligence for allowing him to escape in the first place. Judge Roland Barnes' widow won $5.2 million, and court reporter Julie Brondo's daughter received $5 million. The city was forced to overhaul courthouse security. Ashley Smith's 7-hour standoff with Nichols turned her into a media sensation. She wrote a book about her experience.
I was going to say, Rob, that she wrote a book.
Hollywood adapted her story.
I was going to say, she probably wrote a book about this joke, but they beat me to it. I knew there was a movie because they kept showing clips and clips. I'm like, this looked like a movie.
To the film Captive. Looking back, one wonders why this event ended the way it did. But only Nichols knows why he put down his gun that morning. And maybe that was the most unsettling part of all. Feel free to suggest a story you want to see using the link in the description.
All right, man. Brian Nichols. He did shoot the judge in court, which is crazy. Shot all these folks over some coochie, bro. Over some coochie. Dude. I ain't got no words for him. That is crazy, but hope y'all boys and girls stay up. Catch y'all on the next one.